Yes, boys, we've got the mech boy being rocked by Tenso, fighting against Broodwich, rocking the Warp Spider Exarch here today on good old Fedrid Folly of this map. I want to see some really good Gretchen usage. Let's go! Let's see what Tenso's got in store for us today. So, as expected, both of the teleporting heroes are positioning themselves near the contested VP, where they can exploit the fact that they can easily hop over this impassable terrain here, using their teleports. Do note the garrisons. Probably going to see a lot of usage from the teleporting heroes in these garrisons. It will be very annoying. Love the initial build order from Tenso. Very aggressive. Moving out, capping this power node as soon as possible. I would like to see him node this immediately. Might as well. And then backfilling, capping this with his shooter boys. We're going to come down and try and support him take out the Warp Spider. Now Broodwich on the other hand has to play a lot more conservative because he's only opened with 2 units. He hasn't chosen to opt for a second Guardian to start with. That means he gets the 2 gens up and he's still on par with Tenso in terms of wreck. We'll see how long that lasts for. So the nice little enfilade has been set up here by the shooters and the mech boy, and it forces off the spider, who has to retreat after killing a single shooter boy. Banshees do actually catch these shooters here, manage to catch a kill. But the Guardians managed to catch a loser model against the Slugger boys as well, so yeah, pretty even so far. Tenso dropping a gen suggests to me he wants to get out Storm Boys ASAP. But getting that gen has actually delayed his Storm Boys quite a lot. Like, if he cancels the gen right now, he could actually get Storm Boys. So that's interesting. And then, no additional gens from Broodwich yet. He's got a Shuriken. So the fact that he hasn't dropped another gen already, even though he could obviously afford it, suggests to me he wants a second Shuriken ASAP. Otherwise, you'd drop another gen, and you'd pay for upgrades. So yeah, Storm Boys come out for Tenso. Quite delayed, though. They could have come out quite a while back. Still no node in this PowerPoint as well, which is unfortunate. The Orc Eco has definitely been slowed down quite a lot here by the initial bleed they took. I know they lost 3 models, right? A lot of you guys might be thinking, what the fuck, that's not a big deal. That's only like 1 tack. But that is actually a huge deal. In these high level matchups, timing is everything. And, you know, if he didn't lose those models, he'd have had an extra gen up sooner. And it would be extra big shooters already. And then that compounds itself, it creates a snowballing effect because more big shooters up earlier means more bleed onto the you know, relatively fragile, unupgraded troops of the Eldar every time they skirmish with the shooters. So Broodwich kind of caught with his pants down here. This Guardian Weapons team is totally mispositioned, getting countered by the mech, and this Guardian Weapons team has pushed a bit too deep. It's been caught by the Slugger boys, so this facilitates a gen bash for Tenso. But in order to get this gen bash, he has actually ceded a lot of map control. Oh, another missed micro from Broodwich, unfortunately for him. And Storm Boys, if they're used correctly here, should be able to wipe out the Shuriken. Yeah, Tenso knows what he's doing. You don't just right click the Shuriken. If you do that, the Storm Boys will just charge in, and then by the time they finish their leap animation, the Shuriken will be gone, so they'll do nothing. You have to walk near to the Shuriken, so you're already in melee range. Hit S and then attack the Shuriken, and they will get their melee attacks. Now Storm Boys can jump onto the Shuriken here, just on the edge of the range, but he would be able to force off the Shuriken, so that's a bit of a mistake actually. So a lot of losses for Broodwich in terms of military, however it's really not that terrible of a position because he's managed to stop a lot of the gen bash. Only 1 gen was actually taken out, and a decent bit of bleed has been inflicted onto Tenso's army. Tenso's doubling down with more and more upgrades, even getting the mines on the mech boy, which is interesting. I like it though because, you know, he's seen that Broodwich has gone for double Shuriken, so he figures, well, he's quite unlikely to get Rangers as well then. So I'll get the mines, and he can't detect them. But yeah, the whole time that was going on, Broodwich had the map control on the west side of the map. So yeah, pretty even economic position in spite of it all. But I'd say Tenso actually comes out worse because he is so far behind on VPs. Which really, against Eldar, not what you want. Definitely not what you want.
Right, we'll get the post up.
Miss micro here from the Banshees, need to be destroying the power node to get onto it eventually. And Broodwich, I suppose, accepting that he wasn't really particularly successful with his double shuriken, is just sucking that up, and he's just going to go straight to tier 2. Get out something else which might be a bit more successful against these orcs. Perhaps some water spiders would be effective. Gaining control of the west again, I suspect Tenso's going to want to do another time push onto the gen farm. That would be quite wise, given the amount of investment he's put into his shooters, getting big shooters and shooter knobs on both of them. I say he really needs to get this gen bash, but he's not going for it. He's going to go secure the west side of the map. Now if he can secure all 4 of these points, node this power node and drop a gem, he could actually be in a decent spot. Falcon coming out from the Eldar could end up wiping his entire gen farm, but I think he'd be okay. Interesting use of the mech, just tickling the gens. I guess there's not really anything that can counterplay it. Shuriken's never a very good counterplay option. Obviously the mech just teleports behind it after it sets up. And then it's faffing around, rotating. The mech boy can just keep running around shooting it. But what it does do is it does deter the mech boy. It delays him from actually finishing the gen bash. Now the Banshee's movement, very interesting throw of mines there. But the Dire Avenger Exarch reinforces, and what the fuck am I trying to say? Jesus Christ! The Dire Avenger Exarch can detect now. So this is why I hate that change. I really, really hate it, because it's just, it really makes mines useless. As if mines weren't shit anyway. You know, they're very niche, to say the least. But now you can just get the Dire Avenger Exarch, which is already an amazing upgrade for 15 power. And then you get to counter that whole war gear. But yeah, we see the Falcon coming out. Now, what I would expect to see from Broodwich is full upgrades coming onto the Dire Avengers, put them in the Falcon and go bash the entire gen farm of Tenso. And then we're probably going to see Water Spiders coming out afterwards. Water Spiders have a great natural synergy with the Falcon, because you get the Haywire grenades, which facilitate kills on vehicles, particularly the Death Dread, but I guess the War Truck as well, because it's so fragile. And then Water Spiders in general are a pretty good option against Orcs, because of the high level of damage that they do. Now Orcs do a high amount of damage as well, and Water Spiders are very fragile, so you only ever want to engage Orcs with Water Spiders if your Water Spiders have the cover advantage. But Water Spiders should always have the cover advantage, because they can teleport. So if you get into a ranged skirmish against Orcs with your Water Spiders, they should straight away be teleporting into cover. So a bit of a miss macro there from Brood, which he actually loses his Water Spider. That was a bit weird. But as expected, we're seeing fully upgraded Dire Avengers. And they're going to facilitate the bash, but there is a barrage coming in from the Tank Busters. That can actually one-shot the Falcon if it gets rear armor hits, and that's again how you know this is a high-level game. Broodwich was privy to that. Probably heard the sound of those rockets flying through the air, and he does micro. Get out of there. Broodwich actually kind of lacking in wreck, surprisingly. I feel like he hasn't been bleeding that much. Oh, this is beautiful! Oh. You know what? That feels so bad. That should have been the mines snaring the Falcon there, and the Tank Busters finishing the Falcon off. But because the Dire Avenger Exarch now detects, even though he's one of the most cost-effective leaders for 15 power in the game, that player was completely neutered, because mines don't blow up if they're detected. I'm salty about that, and I'm not even playing the game. I think that's total bullshit. No way this fella should be detecting. all the things that they do for 15 power, it's mental. Not only is he a decent melee fighter, not only is he a decent ranged fighter, he also gives a really good ability to the Dire Avengers, increasing their damage. Their damage is already very high for base damage. But he also grants passive damage resistance to the entire squad from ranged attacks, so he makes them extremely tanky. Why the hell does he need to detect as well? For 15 power! If this was a 25 power upgrade, I'd get it. For 15 power? Ridiculous. Nice mine usage there though, point blank range from Tenso onto the Banshees. Disrupts them and forces them off. Force off that likely wouldn't have happened were it not for the fact that he had those mines. But a lot of sloppy plays really from Broodwich, losing his Warp Spider too many times, losing the Shurikens. It means that he's actually really quite wreck-starved. I mean, look at the amount of troops that Tenso has fielded. Very intimidating. And somehow Tenso has actually managed to get ahead in the VPs at this point of the game.
Ooh, we added to the post, boss.
So we got tank busters in here, we do. There are tank busters inside this Falcon, and that is a threat. We see the Falcon seems to be missing. With its pulse laser, Stormboy's jumping in to disrupt it. Stormboy's getting wrecked by their own tank busters. That was a bit of a misplay. But it's alright, tank busters can get a gem bash now. Now the Banshee's moving in, yeah, that will be a problem. Sluggers don't want to take that fight when the Falcon can move up and help reinforce the Banshees as well. Did we just see another unit die? Yeah. The shooters just managed to wipe the Shuriken over here, that is crazy. Broodwich, what are you doing? Broodwich clearly very sloppy, bless him. I'm watching this war truck because it seems like the pulse laser is doing 0 damage, which is a bit of a bug. I don't know, it did a little bit of damage at the end there, but it just doesn't seem to be doing as much as one would expect it to do against the war truck, even though it is moving, and I know that reduces the accuracy of it. There was always problems with certain anti-vehicle weapons affecting transport whilst the transport has something in it. I don't know the extent to which those things got fixed. Innie, if you're watching, Kira, maybe you can inform me. And once again we see the Warp Spider falling. Damn. I mean, Broodwich is kind of hanging on by the skin of his teeth at this point. Yeah, Wraithlord, as expected. So what I think Broodwich is going to do, he recognises that he is so much fewer in number, as I suppose Eldari often are. But he also is really behind on VPs, so basically he needs to just combine all his forces and hold these 2 VPs here to try and win this. Otherwise he's just going to get outmaneuvered by the Mech Boy and lose on VPs. So he's getting a Wraithlord, which is really good to do that. Wraithlord can tie up the tank busters in melee, which protects the Falcon. Wraithlord can get a wrist-mounted right lance, which then can actually kill the war truck. And the Wraithlord passively heals, so the fact that he's got 2 vehicles and he only has 1 repair unit, well, it's not that big of a deal, because the Wraithlord has passive HP regen. But we'll see how it goes. Really, really far behind on VPs now. Warp Spider is going to cap this VP. That will be successful. We actually see Power Blades on him. Wow, I didn't even realise that. Not a lot of time for Broodwich, needs to make his play here. So he has to win this fight. But he should, because the only AV is the tank busters, and as I say, the Wraithlord just ties them up. Wait, he went for the Shuriken? Oh wow, I'm shocked. The Shuriken is really good against the Orcs, but really good mine usage again. snaring the Wraith Lord, facilitating the escape of the tank busters. But between the focus fire of the Falcon and the Shuriken launcher, these tank busters are kind of in a dodgy position. Yeah, they just retreat. So Broodwich actually clings on. 9 VPs left. Obviously the Spider's caught this side, Banshees are caught that side. Mechboy's coming to contest, but the Spider is here. He's going to try and disrupt the Mechboy. He does prevent the cap, but the Spider's going to have to get out of there. Wow, the vehicles are massively up-chasing at this point. Once again, man, these mines should be amazing, but the fact that the Dire Avengers are here, they could just go up and detect them all. I really hate that change. Oh, that was a rough retreat path for the Shooter Boys. Nice micro here by the Dire Avengers to sprint in and tie up the Mechboy in melee because he's got that beam of death gun. Beautiful special attack from the Wraith Lord. Oh god, that Wraith Lord special attack is so devastating. Will another beamy shot kill the Wraith Lord? Oh my god, it does. But now there is no repair support for the Warshruck. The Warshruck is took out. The Falcon is now vulnerable. Slugger Boys are going to get wiped. Dire Avengers tie up the Mechboy, so the Falcon actually survives. And on this side of the map, the Banshees are around to deal with the Shooter Boys and promptly force them off. At this point, Tenso has took the time to actually take to tier 3, and he's got to do it tanking away. That is going to be very hard for Broodwich to deal with. I think both players are very stressed right now because that was a very dodgy Storm Boy jump and an even dodgier Bomber Boy coming out from them Storm Boys. Tenso doesn't have a huge VP lead, and the fact that he's soon to be triple capped, he's going to start losing that VP lead very quickly. The pressure is on. Here comes some Gretchens. We've got repair crew Gretchens out in the field, boys. This is what we like to see. Look at these little fuckers. Look at the little grots. Ah, there's something. They're out in the field and they are ready to repair. So they can support the looted tank with repairs, whilst the Mechboy can actually deal with the Falcon, and then go try and cap this side point to put on some more VP pressure. I like it, it's good play. Constructing a bunker. Yeah, I suppose there's not that much anti-garrison. There is the grenade on the Guardians, so it is slightly questionable. Alright, here we go. It's probably the finale fight. Obviously needs to stop this Mechboy from capping. She will be able to. Mechboy goes down. Where's the busters? Did they get tied up? Where's the Spider? Oh, the Spider's... What is the Spider doing? I can't see. The Spider's tying up the Shooter Boys. Tank Buster Barrage goes down and misses. Looks like a mine did set off the Falcon snare, but the Banshees are actually meleeing the looting tank and forcing it to get back. There was a global call-in of Warp Spider at some point, I didn't even realise that. The Storm Boys of all things! Oh my goodness, what is going on? The Storm Boys take out the Falcon, the Banshees take out the tank. This is the era of heavy melee. Warp Spider has gone trying to get the decap up here. Where's the Mechboy doing? The Mechboy died. Oh no, now the Gretchen are useless. The Gretchen are running off over to this side of the map to decap that VP. And the tank busters are kind of just chilling. I mean, I guess that's something. Grenade can come in here though. Yeah. That's gonna hurt. So Gretchen do cap slower than other units. You can see it's really taking them quite some time to decap this point, but they're working on it. And another Falcon coming out for Broodwich. Interesting. Don't really know why he's chopping up the bunker. Yeah, just leave it, like, who cares? The tank busters aren't doing anything in there. Ooh, nice Bomber Boys, that was better. Now if these Storm Boys actually land their jump on top of the Banshees, they might win. Because of the stun. But they don't really have time, to be honest. Wow, VPs are super low for the Tenso right now. Super low for the Tenso. What happened here? Why did the Gretchen stop capping? Gretchen's not fully capped, can they only decap? I'm really confused. Oh, really unlucky. He's run out of VPs. Broodwich has somehow managed to claw his way back. Wow, what a game. Well, Howling Banshees, I think, were the MVPs there. Level 4 Banshees putting in some amazing work, actually forcing off and killing the looted tank. Very awkward position here for the looted tank to move around with the tank traps here, and then the bunker behind it. I don't really think that bunker achieved a whole lot. The bunker probably would have been better off back here with some shooters in it, to stop any decaps. But yeah, there you go. Great little game that. Very close in the end. Only 9 VPs left for Broodwich. Honestly, don't know how he survived with those early game misplays. But he did, and that's the power of the Falcon and level 4 Banshees. Cute to see the Gretchen in the end though. But not really playing a pivotal role in that match, unfortunately. I've yet to see them used very effectively. If any of you guys do have a game in which you utilise Gretchen very effectively in either of their free forms, please do join the Discord in the description and send me that replay, because I want to see it. I have not seen it yet. Anyway folks, thanks for tuning in. That is going to be all from your boy STD. Signing out.